Tonight on CTV News at 11:30, searching for answers.
The historic human remains detection dogs, essentially what they're looking for is odor from decomposition.
Detection dogs will be searching a former residential school site near Chapleau. Plus, the province comes through with interim funding for Fauquier-Strickland. And camping and hiking can put strains on our backs.
You want your pack to fit from the base of your neck in your C7 right to your hip bone.
We check in with the experts on how to keep our summer plans pain-free.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Well, good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. We begin tonight on Manitoulin Island, where a 20-year-old Wickwemkong man is facing charges of attempted murder following the stabbing of a police officer on the unceded territory. On Monday, the OPP were called to Andrew Crescent to assist after reports the officer was seriously injured in an altercation. That officer was flown to Health Sciences North by Orange with serious injuries. The accused remains in custody and will appear tomorrow. In the meantime, Wickwemkong Tribal Police report their officer is on the road to recovery. They thank the community for its support. A 31-year-old Durham man is facing several charges in connection to trafficking drugs in Northern Ontario. According to investigators, as a result of an investigation, they pulled the individual over on Highway 69 inside the city. Police say they seized more than 1,200 grams of cocaine, 40 grams of fentanyl, and 6 5-milligram TEC pills worth over $125,000 from the vehicle. He was to appear in bail court today. And a ride check in Wickwemkong has led to local police there finding more than $22,000 in fentanyl. Investigators say they also found $6,000 in cocaine and a small amount of cash. It happened Sunday night while stopping vehicles and investigating one car. As a result, 4 people, a 25-year-old Brampton male, an 18-year-old Mississauga male, a 55-year-old man from Wickwemkong, and a youth who cannot be identified are all facing charges. A boil water advisory remains in place tonight for businesses along Oakland Boulevard and Elliott Lake. The city had issued the warning earlier today around the noon hour after work had been done on the line. Officials say there is a risk of soil or other contaminants in the water supply. Those in the affected area must bring the water to a boil and let it cool for at least 1 minute before using. A 41-year-old woman was killed this morning in Sudbury after being struck by a train. Police responded around 7 a.m. to a crash on Harry Crescent where a pedestrian suffered fatal injuries. The area and nearby roadways were shut down for 3.5 hours as crews investigated. Criminal investigators took over the scene, but police say foul play is not suspected at this time.
There was no foul play in this collision. It was an accident.
A spokesperson for Canadian Pacific tells CTV News that the incident remains under investigation and that the train was temporarily stopped. A scary scene in French River last night. A commercial truck was traveling Highway 64 when it veered onto the shoulder to avoid hitting a passenger vehicle head on. It rolled over as it pulled off, and police had to close the highway in both directions for just over 6 hours. The passenger vehicle was reportedly driving down the center line of the road. Police are now looking for the 2 occupants of that vehicle, which they say may have been a black Volkswagen Golf or a Jetta hatchback. 3 First Nations are coming together to search the former St. John's residential school sites near Chapleau. And a warning, some of the details in this story may be upsetting to viewers. CTV's Lydia Chubak has details.
From August 1st to August 3rd, a team of historic human remains detection dogs will be searching 2 sites that belong to St. John's residential school near Chapleau. Other types of searches of the sites have been done, including using ground-penetrating radar. But Dixon says one site is heavily wooded and is not ideal for that method. At the second site, there is a graveyard for former St. John students.
The historic human remains detection dogs, essentially what they're looking for is odor from decomposition. And they've been specially trained to make sure that they're not confusing the odor they're looking for with composition from animals. So they've been also hired in a team of 3 to negate potential bias.
According to the National Centre for Truth and Reconciliation website, the Chapleau Residential School north of Chapleau operated from 1907 to 1919, and a new school opened south of the town in 1920. In 1908, an Indian Affairs inspector said that 7 of 31 children at the school had died in a 3-month period, and parents temporarily stopped sending their children to it. The school was damaged by fires in 1944 and 1947. It closed in 1948 and was torn down. Chapleau Cree, Chapleau Ojibwe, and Brunswick House First Nations are partnering on this search to get answers about the children who never came home from the Anglican-run school.
Well, it's definitely something that I've heard echoed by the survivors that, since they were no longer students in these types of institutions, they wanted to make sure that the children who did not come home were forgotten.
Dixon says the team is also collecting oral history.
We are available at any time to essentially interview those survivors and their families if they're, able to sit down and speak with us.
Dixon says it could take multiple years to complete the project, and on paper, government funding is available until 2026, and an extension may be required. Dixon says a final findings report will eventually be released, but additional searches may be required before winter. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
And for the Indigenous community, the pain and trauma of residential schools is intergenerational. For survivors and families, there is a crisis line available 24 hours a day. That number is 1-866-925-4419. Excavators could be heard in downtown Sudbury on Shaughnessy Street again today as the downtown landscape continues to change. CTV's Madison Merrier reports.
Demolition began on the old Wacky Wings building in downtown Sudbury. It's the final structure to come down for what the city says will become the new downtown development. Wacky Wings was purchased by the city in 2023 as part of the $12 million plan to buy properties within a 2-block radius of the Sudbury Arena. Wacky Wings owner Craig Burgess had been fighting to keep his restaurant where it was with the hopes of being integrated into the new facility. Despite disappointment and having to move, Burgess released this statement to CTV News saying, "We are very excited to open our new location and see all our loyal customers, and look forward to the opportunity to welcome them again." Wacky Wings has purchased the former Northern Brewery's building on Lawrence Street with hopes of reopening next year. We spoke to a concerned citizen who said while this might look like progress, he worries.
I think that people really have to look at, because this is what makes a community. So are we making our community better, or are we tearing down?
The city of Greater Sudbury said in a statement to CTV News, the former Wacky Wing site will form part of the footprint of the new event center downtown, replacing the existing community arena, providing a state-of-the-art venue designed to host concerts, shows, sporting events, and other large-scale entertainment experiences, adding that the site will become temporary parking in the interim. According to the city, the construction on the new event center is set to begin in 2026. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
The city of North Bay is postponing its scheduled drone show August 3rd out of an abundance of caution. At a drone show July 18th at the Lake Nipissing waterfront, high winds knocked 8 drones from the sky. 6 of them fell in a safety zone, while 2 fell outside the zone, 1 plummeting onto a parked car while a second slammed onto Memorial Drive. No one was hurt. The city says the proactive decision was made as it continues to review the incident, and it's considering further safety measures. Another drone show is scheduled to take place August 29th. Officials with Greater Sudbury say lifeguard supervision at 7 beaches will end August 17th. The city notes that swimming at the beaches after this date is at your own risk. Greater Sudbury operates 7 public beaches: Bell Park Main Beach, Cape Real Public Beach, Calmo Beach, Centennial Park Beach, Moonlight Beach, Nepowen Beach, and Whitewater Lake Park. They say since most of their lifeguards are post-secondary students who will be heading back to school in the fall, they have to wrap up by mid-August.
Many of those staff also come from positions in our municipal pools. So as we prepare to return to a full slate of programming in our pools, we need to get those beach staff transitioned out of the waterfront positions and back into the pools to prepare for that fall scheduling.
Around the region, North Bay's lifeguard program is at full staff. The city says this is the first summer in several years that there's been a full complement of lifeguards across all 3 of its supervised beaches. Shabagisik Beach, The Cove, and Olmsted Beach. Lifeguard duties end August 23rd. Gillies Lake in Timmins has supervision through July and August, while Sault Ste. Marie has no supervision at any of its municipal beaches. Provincial help appears to be on the way for Fouquier Strickland from the province. According to the agenda for an upcoming special council meeting, the mayor has received communication from the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing advising of interim emergency funds of up to $300,000 being made available with specific conditions. This after accumulating $2.5 million in debt over the past decade, and the announcement last month it would have to stop most of its core services by August 1st. Environment Canada has issued an air quality statement for most of the northeast region. Smoke from the wildfires in the prairies is moving through the northeast today. We may see poor air quality in the region and through to Wednesday, notably in Greater Sudbury and area, Gogama, Folliette, West Nipissing, French River, Espanola, Massey, Manitoulin Island, and Killarney. Rising smoke levels increase health risks. People are advised to reduce outdoor activities until the air quality returns to normal. Well, speaking of weather and the smoke, time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Rick will have your full weather forecast. For now, a look at the weather warnings we once again have in place tonight, and that is that wildfire smoke we were talking to you about. All of our broadcast region, except for pretty much Parry Sound, hasn't reached down along the Georgian Bay coast as of yet, but just keep an eye on that for sure. Moving over to current conditions, we've got smoky conditions being reported in Kapuskasing and Timmins, some haze in Timiskaming Shores, a thunderstorm in North Bay, 19 on the island. We'll have details after this.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
This isn't breaking news, it's great news. We've got a nice streak of sunshine coming up in northeastern Ontario. Check out the forecast radar. This is what we've got in terms of, well, maybe the hint of precipitation overnight. Here it is by at least noon tomorrow, maybe a trace of precipitation. Then loads of sunshine throughout the northeast, as you'll see momentarily. And of course, maybe a trace or two, but nothing serious, and some nice temperatures too. Here we go. Sudbury Nickel Belt, humidex of 27 for tomorrow. Mainly cloudy, but take a look at some of the temperatures, and you've got no less than, well, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Sunshine even into Tuesday of next week, and normally you should be hitting it around 25, so you'll exceed that on Saturday at 27 and 28 on Sunday. Meanwhile, in Sault Ste. Marie and Algoma, UV index high tomorrow at 8, 22-year high. Here we go. Sunshine Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You can't beat that streak. Normally you should be hitting it around 24. So you're above average in terms of your temperature in some sections like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and next Tuesday. How about Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing? Chance of showers for tomorrow. Then it gets better. You've got sunshine Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and into next Tuesday. Normally at about 25, but you're hitting 27 on Saturday, 26 on Sunday. So all in all, a pretty fair forecast for Timmins, Cochrane, and Kapuskasing. Now we'll look at Timiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. The humidex at 26 tomorrow. Not too severe. Chance of showers, then sunny skies Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and next Tuesday as well. Some of those temperatures, 27 and 25, 26. At least equaling or bettering the normal for this time of the year, which is around 25 degrees for the area. And North Bay, West Nipissing, here we go. Humidex reading of 25 for tomorrow. A couple of days at 22. Then we've got 23, 27, 26, and back to 27. But again, loads of sunshine Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, into next Tuesday. Even some sun and cloud or mainly sunny skies. You've got to like those conditions. So Ian Campbell, how do you complain about a forecast like that? Right through the entire northeast, but there is a special air quality in effect. Local smoke throughout the northeast for tomorrow. I'll hand things back to you.
but there's still sunshine. Thanks so much for this, Rick. Well, as the Civic Long Weekend quickly approaches, many of us are getting ready to pack up and go camping. But while spending time in nature is great for your mind, it can be tough on your body. CTV's Amanda Hicks explains.
From hiking scenic trails to casting a line for fishing, there's a lot to enjoy about camping in the great outdoors. But there is the potential for some camping-related aches and pains as well, says Dr. Leah Lawson, a chiropractor based in Parry Sound. She says she often sees a number of campers arriving at her clinic in pain.
They are cooking at a lower level. They may be sleeping on a harder surface. They might be lifting more than what they usually do at home. So all of these things put a greater demand onto your body and your spine in particular.
Lawson says optimizing your sleeping position is one step to avoid injury.
Really important that if you are a side sleeper, I encourage you to put a pillow in between your knees. That will take some pressure off of your hips. If you're a back sleeper, to ensure that you might want to try putting a pillow under your knees, and that will give your legs a little bit of a propped up, take some pressure off your lower back.
Staff at Ramaco Sports and Adventure Store in Sudbury say choosing the proper footwear is key in preventing slips, blisters, and rolled ankles. To protect your back, it's best to choose a backpack that is the correct size for your body type.
You want your pack to fit from the base of your neck in your C7 right to your hip bone, right in the middle of your iliac crest. So you really want it to sit there. Generally, when you're fitting a pack to someone, you want to make sure that the hip strap is going to sit right on top of the hip when they're tightening it. If it sits on top or it sits too low, it will move as you're walking.
And Dr. Lawson says poor body mechanics is the most common cause of joint and back pain. She adds maintaining proper body positioning and being mindful of your movements are a few tips to prevent injury so you can make the most of your camping trip. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
Food inflation continues to make life costly for Canadians, and no one is feeling the pinch more than food banks. In Elliott Lake, officials with the Emergency Food Bank say they are concerned about even just the number of children using their services. Pre-COVID, they were maybe seeing about 55 kids a month. Now, as of last year, that number is up to 114 on average. Len Kutchaw says their client intake has increased by over 40% since 2023.
Everything's going up. There's a lot of people here on fixed incomes. There's a lot of retirees here. And, you know, it is what it is, unfortunately. And we're just, honestly, we're very proud to be able to help out in whatever way we can for them.
The food bank recently moved to a new location on Timber Road to help deal with the weight and increase of food that has been needed to deal with the increase in clients. Well, as we approach that holiday weekend, those in the vicinity of Sudbury are being encouraged to donate plasma as part of their summer plans. That from the Canadian Blood Services, which says every day lives are being saved because of plasma donors. The ad giving plasma will make someone else's summer brighter, and donors will be left with a sense of purpose. Appointments can be made online or by calling 1-888 to donate. Most new federal employees will no longer receive a government-issued phone as Ottawa looks to cut costs. CTV's Caitlin Wilson has more on the mixed reaction to the decision.
There's an app I can put on my phone that effectively emulates my desk phone.
At this high-tech recruitment firm, being reachable isn't a bonus, it's the business.
We're constantly on the phone calling all the time, you know. If we're not calling candidates, we're calling customers.
For David Gorman and his team, the cell phone isn't just a tool. It's how relationships are built, leads are landed, and deals get done.
If you leave a voicemail for somebody and they decide to call you back, you want to be there to catch the phone, take the call, you know, because if you miss the call, you might not get another chance at it.
But in the public service, the federal government is dialing back on both cell phones and landlines and replacing them with soft phones, which allow employees to make calls from desktops or laptops in order to cut costs.
When we have a government now that has a very large deficit and is trying to rein that in, when they're ordering all of their departments to find cost savings, taking the phones and ditching them is an easy way to do it, especially when there's alternatives out there that we've learned.
Concordia economics professor Moshe Lander says even his own university, like many businesses, is following suit.
What prof is in the office anymore 9 to 5 and is taking student phone calls or so they said, forget it. Like, use Teams if you want to interact with each other.
During the last fiscal year, Shared Services Canada spent nearly $90 million on mobile phones, which they say will still be provided when necessary, and some public servants don't seem to mind.
The phone is typically more for traveling. Most of us don't really do a lot of traveling, so I personally don't really see a need for a work phone, even though they're issued automatically.
And while critics argue many public servants will end up using their personal phones, raising privacy concerns, for those outside the public sector, the phone isn't always optional.
I know myself, I need my cell phone anyways, because this is how I sent my papers. Anyways, I'm a long distance truck driver, and that's how I sent my papers.
Caitlin Wilson, CTV News.
Still ahead tonight on CTV News. A golf club in Sudbury turns pink for a good cause. You won't want to miss this. Stay with us. Sudbury's Huntington University is partnering with an internationally renowned organization in France. The René Cassin Foundation signed a memorandum of understanding recently with Huntington's Canadian Institute of Human Rights and Global Health. The foundation is named for its Nobel Peace Prize winning founder and teaches international human rights law around the globe. This MOU offers a chance for increased learning and collaborative research between the two organizations. The largest all-women golf tournament north of Toronto took over the Idlewild Golf and Country Club in Sudbury today. 144 participants hit the links after creating this giant cancer ribbon. The event is so popular it sells out in just a few days, drawing female participants from Toronto and as far away as Hilton Head in the States. Health Sciences North Foundation is the recipient of the funds raised and has been since 2020. Organizers estimate they've raised more than $23,000 to date.
Well, I lost my sister a couple of years ago to cancer. We have a history of cancer in the family. So it was really important that for the community that we step up and we want to be part of the movement. We want to be part of the voice. And the women, if you want to get things done, get 144 women together because we can multitask.
The Shirley and Jim Fielding Cancer Center is one of the top cancer centers in Ontario, and to have their support to go back right back in the community for the ones that they support and love is very, very important.
I'm glad they had some great weather for it. This is the 14th year for the event, which first supported the Canadian Cancer Society before organizers discovered the funds weren't staying local, so the switch was made 5 years ago. Organizers hope this year's event will bring in $10,000. A new report says Canada is falling behind when it comes to supporting people with dementia. The Brainwell Institute says it takes an average of 2 years for patients to get a diagnosis and services are fragmented. It also says dementia contributes to an estimated $25 billion in lost productivity due to demands placed on caregivers. The Institute is calling for the creation of a Canadian dementia coordinating body to guide policy, a national implementation plan with clear targets, and a commitment to long-term funding. Well, finally tonight, lawn maintenance workers in BC are turning heads. They're efficient, they don't complain, and they only need the occasional break to recharge. CTV's Sinjin Alexander explains.
Yeah, no, there's no way to predict where this mower is going to go.
And wherever it's headed never makes a sound. It just sneaks about the lawn at Richmond City Hall, fulfilling its duty.
What's it doing now? It's just randomly on it, carrying out its business.
Officially a robotic lawnmower. The city has two, though one was taking a nap when we stopped by, all in an effort to test out and stay ahead of the latest technology.
There's going to be big changes coming up in the world of grass maintenance, lawn maintenance.
Hired in 2022, so far no one has tried to take them home, although they let off nasty alarms when picked up.
We've got a wire fence that's installed into the perimeter of the lawn.
That means the robots will refuse to work beyond city property.
Much different than conventional grass cutting equipment. These don't actually cut the grass, doesn't allow the grass to cut. It comes out every day and it just grazes the surface. And so at most it's cutting off a couple of millimeters.
He argues the machines use less energy and less water is needed to keep the grass green.
So you'll notice the grass is a more natural look. There's leaves on the ground. You won't get that Wimbledon look at this. Got to watch for this thing. At the same time, you don't have to mow your lawn.
It has its own plan, and when you watch what it does, there's no way to understand what its reasoning is.
But they get the job done. Now, similar units cost between several $100s to several thousand. Officially still in the trial phase of their employment, if it likes what it sees, Richmond may let other units run amok, purposefully, on other patches of the city. St. John Alexander, CTV News, Richmond.
I'm so jealous. I think I won. That takes us to the end of our newscast this Tuesday night. For the latest news anytime, remember you can head to our website, CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. You can also download our CTV News app. Thanks for watching. Good night.